It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, sir. Thank you so much for your time today. There's a boom of entrepreneurship in India, and you are a first-gen entrepreneur. How has your journey been? What it makes to create a legacy what you have created?
So India is full of entrepreneurs. वो एक हिंदी में कहावत है, आगे दुकान पीछे मकान. And people used to be entrepreneurs right from those days in terms of the retail ownership. So I think entrepreneurship is there in the veins of everybody in this country. So there's no question of any exception as far as I'm concerned. However, I have been a first generation entrepreneur. My father was Padma Bhushan Dr. Hiranandani, an ENT specialist of great renown. And nobody in my family was into the business of business. And I did my BCom and then I did my CA. I got into the world of business. And of course, everybody in the family discouraged me in the initial stages. But I guess over a period of time, I just did it.
You always wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Actually, what happened is that my father used to have a lot of people who were businessmen as his patients. The Pilla family, the Tata family, the Mahendra family, the Mafatlal family in Mumbai. And I looked up to them. I said, my God, कितने बड़े लोग हैं, कितने बड़े सब चीज चलाते हैं. So it was always there in the back of my mind that I think the world of business looks very attractive. And my father used to work very, very hard, and I was a bit lazy in those days, in my mind at least. And I didn't think it was worth it, but ultimately got into the world of business and then realized that it's not just a cakewalk. First, I entered into the world of I did power looms. So we used to learn a small factory in Kandivali in the suburbs of Mumbai, and did a little investment into real estate. Both did badly. So I had to sell one, didn't know which one to sell. And I sold the textile unit because I got a notice from the union asking for 100% increase in wages. And I thought, hey, 100% wages increase? So मैं बोला कुछ गलती होगी. There must have been some mistake. And ultimately realized that they were serious about it. And that helped me to take a decision to plunge into real estate and sold off the textile unit, paid off those debts in those days. Well, in hindsight, I promise you that everything that I did, I could have done better. And second, first of all, and second, that one does learn from experience. By learning the domain knowledge, by working into that line, by learning from mentors, learning from other people who are better professionally qualified than you are, learning all the time. So the point was very simple, that in the beginning, obviously things didn't go right because you didn't know about the subject and people took you for a ride. But over a period of time, all those things vanished and you kept on improving. But one thing we did, we'll continue to be a learning organization even today. So after 40 plus years of working in the line, we are still learning new things that happen. So we are, in a sense, old, but think young. I think two things basically have changed. One is expectations from the clients and the public, that they expect quality of the product to be done. That's changed. In the earlier days, if you gave a slipshod product, it was okay. Today, I don't think the clients are willing to accept a product which is not so good. So I think that's the biggest change that has. Number two, the regulatory situation has also changed. You have the real estate regulatory authority, and they are quite particular, at least in Maharashtra, very strict. And so things are there to save and secure the client of doing it. So I think these two big things which I think have changed, and it's good for the industry because the clients are now more confident that their money will not be abused. There's an escrow account of the money, 70% of the money is put into escrow account or into the project. So there is a better chance that they will get the product, and the lesser chance that there will be a default by the developer. If you look at all the reports which have come in regarding real estate, one big change has taken place, which had not taken place in 40 years of my career in real estate, which is that the first time the affordable housing sale has taken a dip. Originally, 29% of the total sales in India was in this segment of affordable housing. In this 6 months period, actually 8 months period, it has come down to 19%, which is shocking, which has never happened before. So I think that's a big story that has happened in the market. Anyway, I think it had the year of the Prime Minister. So you see that the first cabinet meeting of the Honorable Prime Minister Modi, the decision has been taken to bring back the PMAY scheme, Prime Minister's Awas Yojana scheme, back again for interest subvention for affordable housing. And they have recommended 3 crore houses, and I believe out of that 1 crore in the urban sector and 2 crores in the rural sector. So I think this was the biggest hit which has taken place in the real estate sector. And the second, as a corollary of that, the mid segment and the luxury segment grew faster. And overall, there has been a 15% growth in the last 8 to 10 months in the total overall sale of real estate countrywide. So I think basically the last 10 years at least, the PMAY scheme was very successful. And there was an interest subvention, and which was not there in the last 6-8 months because the money was exhausted. So I think this will come back now. Once this scheme is brought into effect, you'll find the affordable housing scheme will take another boost up again. So I think that is possible, and the amount I think is more than 60,000 crores which will go into the interest subvention which will be given to individuals. It's a big amount of money. So luxury segment is luxury and mid segment also, not only luxury, but mid segment has also grown. And I think as GDP grows, mid segment and luxury segment will also grow. It's not that the affordable segment will not grow. And even today, affordable segment is 70% of the market. It's the growth which has dropped. The total volume of affordable is still the largest. So there's no question about that. We still have a long way to go in catering to the ultimate affordable segment. But what has happened is that at this point of time, there's a K curve which has moved, and this is being rectified. So commercial real estate also has taken a hit because overall the IT sector got hit in America, and the work from home post-COVID has really affected the sector. But because India's GDP has grown, commercial sector is now coming back. So even the commercial sector growth is now coming back slowly but surely. And second, a huge amount of foreign direct investment is coming further into commercial real estate, which surprises me because in America, commercial real estate is in the dumps. But in India, they expect that it is going to grow, which is all my expectations too. So I think India is growing much better than even the Western countries. So you mentioned all the sectors which I think will grow. First of all, the most important sectors being health and education. So I think they are definitely going to grow. There is no doubt about it. However, as far as I am concerned, those sectors are not for profit. So we don't make, they are kept in charitable institutions and kept separately. So all the institutions that I involved myself, 14 colleges in Bombay, a university, 4 schools, then we have a skill development center, run 2 hospitals. We do all that. And these are all not for profit. So that's totally and a skill development center. So all this is not for profit. So that's one part of it, just to distinguish between the two. The other part of it is a business of business, which is data centers, commercial, retail, hotel, hospitality, and other stuff. So those are the business attributes which have arisen as a consequence of our development of townships. So in our township, we would put a hospital, school, but we'd also put up a hotel, we'll also put up entertainment, we'll put up all these other aspects of it as also there. So it's a combination of both which actually we got into. And I think that's what's working. So the data center business is actually run by my son Darshan. So I get the credit for it by being his father. And he's doing very well in it. The future of data centers in India is huge and humongous. Let's give you a number. The total quantity of data which arises in India today is more than US and China put together. And the future is going to become even bigger with 5G, with artificial intelligence, with all the attributes which the Prime Minister is focusing on in terms of growth of India in the IT side and these sectors. The requirements in terms of data centers, but artificial intelligence as such is also going to grow. So all these areas are certainly have a great future. What is the extent to which this growth will take place? We don't know. But at this point of time, it is huge and humongous. So that's one aspect of which we are really focusing on. So we have to understand that in the real estate business today, as far as the Mumbai region is concerned, where we operate predominantly, we do townships, we do redevelopment, we do the development manager model in terms of it, we do retail, and then of course the not-for-profit activity which we talked about, when we do IT and commercial also. But we also do outside smaller attributes of this type of projects which we do on other people, and we also do joint development and joint venture development. So in the real estate field, we do a broad spectrum of work, and we are known for quality and we are known for size. So we do both. We do scale and we also bet on good quality of the products that we do. So that's the real estate, and the other one is the byproduct, and that is really looked after by Darshan. People certainly have started valuing a house and a home. Because earlier what would happen, husband, wife are working, children go to schools. So Monday to Friday, Saturday, everything is out. Saturday, Sunday, weekends, they would all go out. Go to the mall, go for a holiday, go for this, go for that, go for a movie, whatever it is they wanted to do. So the home was just a place to really sleep, not really be. During COVID, people certainly valued the home. Not only valued the home, there was work from home. There was work for study from home for the children. So all that suddenly made the focus that people decided, I can also work from home. This is a thought process which has come first time, and work efficiently. So that's one. The second, you realized if you could afford it, I would rather have one extra room in the house. The reason is somebody working, somebody doing an interaction on VC, somebody doing studies or whatever it is, you don't mind one extra even if it's a small room. Second part to that, they wanted more facilities around the building or near to the building. Whether it's a clubhouse, whether it's a swimming pool, whether it's other facilities, whether it was a hospital, whether other things and all. So certainly the expectations of the clients had changed during COVID times, and they were willing to pay for a little bigger house if they could afford it, a little better place if they could afford it, and a better quality. So all that happened as a mindset for the people who could afford it, of course. And that is the mental change which has taken place. And then that has gone down the line. Once that attitude and thought comes into the mind, it starts operating, and then the market takes cognizance, and then you go ahead and give it. In India, we don't have social security. So you must buy the house. You may buy a small house, but you should buy a house. You have a facility of the lowest cost of interest as far as the Indian markets are concerned. It was as low as 6.5%, it's now become 8.5%. And those who are buying affordable houses gets an interest subvention between 1.5% and 2.5% for 20 years. I mean, it's a big amount. And the second thing is that as a social security, maybe after 20 years when you retire or 30 years when you retire, you may not be able to afford a house and rent in the place that you have. So I recommend everybody to actually buy a house, even if it's a small house. And even if it's not in a place where you're working, you can give that one on rent and actually go and stay in another place where you put on rent. So you should always have the security and buy a house in India. You get a tax relief for it, you get lowest cost of interest, and it's a compulsory saving, which otherwise you will not do. So as a company, we do a lot. We do plantation of trees. 25% of our lands in these are all green. We have put up in Mumbai 2 recycling plants of 4 million liters per day in each of these projects, which are the largest plants in any township in India, functioning since last 25 years. So we've been doing sustainability. We have platinum rated green buildings over there on the commercial side. We have some green buildings also that we are doing. So all that, and plus we do sustainability. We do forest lands where we put trees and others. We've just taken 25 acres of land from the forest for our forestation in a JV that we do with the government. So sustainability is a part of the whole thing. What worries me is the fact that we haven't solved the problem of environment pollution in places like Delhi and Mumbai. And Mumbai is now also catching up in terms of environmental problems, which was not there till 2 years ago. But Delhi, we have studied it and we know how we can solve the problem. We know how we can take care of the agriculture burning. We know how all these issues can be sorted out. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it yet. So, and Mumbai is now getting into it. So I think we need to focus on how we can do it. We have brought all electrical buses. We are working on new roads, working on the periphery of Mumbai and other things. We do spraying of water through the year, the corporation does. So all this and more now can be done. So I think in the next couple of years, a focus on environmental issues where we don't look at the barricades of politics of the state or the cities. We look at the problem of pollution separately, just like we did in the case of COVID. We just focused on COVID. We didn't talk about this, ye government yahan hai, ye sarkar yahan hai. Nobody thought of that. We attacked COVID. I think environmental pollution should be attacked in the same way. I don't know about leadership strategies, but I can tell you some strategy which one uses myself. One is I'm a learner. So every time I want to learn how to be better myself. And all the time, my effort is that what is it that I can do new or learn new about construction, about development, about technology, about methodology, about training, about HR. So I'm a learner. So every time I want to learn new things to better myself over a period of years. I'm having a conversation with you just now. I promise myself that when I have my next conversation with you, I will better myself at least 1%. And if I keep improving every aspect of my life by 1% every day, over a period of years, you become an expert, or you become fantastic, or you become top of the line. So what happens is that you may be an ordinary person, but somebody he's damn clever, but he doesn't want to improve himself. But you constantly improve yourself. You constantly improve yourself. He doesn't want to improve. You will go far ahead of him. So that's the thing which I've also done. So even today, I will keep on learning to improve myself. So I better myself. There are people who are more intelligent than me, richer than me, better than me. But I don't worry about that. I worry about how do I better myself tomorrow than what I was yesterday. That's important for me. So I think that's the major thing that I believe in my own self that I do. I'm also a good listener. So I listen to a lot of people who are smaller than me, better than me, technical, other people, and I try to pick up whatever it is. So I treat every person I talk to as a mentor. And I can always pick up something from somebody or the other in order to better. And looking at so many things you line, like for instance, I do education, I do health. How can I be an expert on everything? I can't. So what do? I keep talking to people on their subject. And that's how you actually become good at anything that you do.